It's not. I'm here to discuss something that, I got some new information on digestive disturbances today, and, digestive problems of all types are one of the most common reasons that people go to the doctor today. Millions of people are taking medication for some sort of a digestive problem. Now think about this. People take medicine so they can eat food.
Yeah, something's wrong.
Yeah, that is not normal. Okay? That is not okay.
Ron White has a joke about his brother-in-law or something, like it was his body. He'd gone on this health kick or something, and his body was reacting to broth.
Yeah.
And he said, "Something's wrong with your body, throwing back broth."
Yeah, when you have to take medicine to eat food,
that's wrong.
Something is not okay. And so, but people feel like that if they take something and they feel better, or whatever the symptom they have was gone away, then they fixed their digestive problem. But it's not the symptom is the thing that they should be concerned about with stomach issues. It's that you may not be properly absorbing and digesting your food. And undigested food causes a lot of problems in other parts of the body. And it also causes systemic inflammation. And we talk about that almost every week on the show, that all chronic diseases start with systemic inflammation. And if you're not digesting your food well, that's one of the reasons that you can get an inflammatory response in your body. And people don't think about this very often, but just because you swallow food doesn't mean that your body is actually able to do with it what it needs to do. Or that or if you don't have any symptoms after you eat, or you take something that your symptom goes away, that all of a sudden your body's going to be able to do with whatever it needs to do and everything's fine. It doesn't really work that way. Nexium and other heartburn and reflux medications are some of the top-selling drugs in America now. In fact, I think that Nexium is number 2 behind Lipitor, if I'm not mistaken on that. But that's not going to allow your body to properly digest and absorb the nutrients in your food, so that's not exactly the only answer. And
why do you do that, Debbie Ray?
Well, because that just clicked what you're explaining. Yeah. It'll alleviate the symptoms. You won't have the heartburn or whatever it is, but that doesn't mean that you're absorbing the nutrition that you need from your food.
Gotcha.
Right. So just because you take something to stop the bubbling in burning in your esophagus, you've essentially shut the acid down that breaks down your food to be absorbed.
Wow.
And you're going to create other problems down the digestive tract somewhere.
I know so many people that take that.
Now get this. This will blow your mind. Acid reflux and heartburn is caused from too little acid anyway, not too much acid. So let me repeat that. Acid reflux and heartburn are from too little stomach acid, not too much stomach acid. People look at me like I'm crazy when I tell them
Well,
that.
I was going to say, Bernice, now we've heard we've heard for many moons that's why we all have that problem. That's why you get the heartburn and all that, because of too much acid.
So think about
you're coming up here and saying we've had that wrong for years.
So think about this. When people are under stress, what happens? They get stomach acid. They get acid reflux, right? We've all heard that. Oh, I'm under stress, so my stomach, I get reflux, or I get acid reflux.
Okay.
The stress response in our body shuts down our acid production. It doesn't increase our acid production. When we go into a stress response, our digestive system stops, not speed up. So stress causes a shutting down of the acid production in our stomach, and then we get heartburn. Not the other way around.
Interesting.
Right. Now, here's what
what the heck's causing?
Well, here's what actually happens. That seems kind of impossible at first glance, but what actually happens is that whenever you have acid reflux, you don't have adequate amounts of hydrochloric acid in your stomach, and what you actually feel is the undigested food fermenting and producing its own off-gassing of acid. So it's the undigested food in your stomach that creates that sort of acid burning, not that you have too much stomach acid.
And you're saying the stomach acid is actually what helps break down the food.
Correct.
And we're throwing in our bodies medicines to make our bodies not produce the acid.
So what the medicine does is it just moves the food on down the line anyway, quicker. So you just don't feel it anymore. It just moves it through.
Gee whiz.
but you're not absorbing it. You're not breaking it down. You have undigested food going through your digestive tract, and you're not getting the nutrients that you need. Now, when you tell somebody that has acid reflux to take these hydrochloric acid tablets, they look at you like you're crazy, but then when they start to feel better, and all of a sudden they're absorbing, and they have more energy, and their brain fog goes away, and they're actually getting the nutrients that they need, they actually start to feel better. It makes a huge, huge difference.
Wait, where do you get these
hydrochloric acid? Yeah, you can take supplements to to increase your stomach acid. It's like a supplement that you can take.
It's a supplement.
Yeah, but if you're suffering with digestive disorders, you really need to sit down and figure out the underlying issues and get those fixed. And not just say, well, this Nexium is making my esophagus not burn, and I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Problem solved, right? And so lots of other diseases begin in the gut. The digestive system is really important in all other systems, even serotonin. Serotonin, which is the anxiety, depression neurotransmitter of your brain, is actually made in the gut and transferred to your brain to be used. The serotonin is not made in your brain. It's made in your digestive system, and it's shuttled to your brain to be used. So if your gut is unhealthy, that's when you're not going to have adequate amount of serotonin, and you're going to have the anxiety, depression issue later. And so
it's like dominoes, isn't it?
It is.
I would imagine it also, did you say lack of sleep?
Right. And you take things like diabetes, weight problems, heart disease, high cholesterol, all of these things are affected by bad digestive health. All autoimmune disorders have some association with an unhealthy gut. And so...
Deborah, you just heard Doc said that it's something may be keeping you awake that's not in your brain, but in your stomach.
Right. It's amazing. So we're learning more and more how important this digestive health is, and how your gut health and your normal flora, your normal bacteria that live in your gut, do a lot more than we used just to think it broke our food down so it could get in our bodies. But actually they're doing lots of other things, and we're learning more and more by some of these Harvard researchers that our gut health is actually important for our overall health, and that lots of these chronic diseases actually start with an unhealthy digestive system. So just taking something and moving that on down the line and not feeling it and thinking the problem is solved causes other diseases to occur in your body, and somebody needs to sit down with you and figure out what is going on that's causing you to have to take medicine to eat food.
Well, when you see Larry the Cable Guy on television doing a commercial making $20 million for it, you sure wished he would tell you the truth about it.
Exactly. Yeah. So when we get back from break, I have some exciting new tests and research that are going to help those suffering with digestive disorders. Now, I'm going to also tell you about a chemical that's being used nationwide right now in America. You probably all have it in your pantry, that can destroy you and your kids' digestive health. It's been proven, so stay tuned, because you probably have this chemical. It's probably in your on your shelves right now, that's in our food in America, that causes us to have leaky gut syndrome. So we're going to talk about leaky gut syndrome, what that is and what causes it, when we get back from the break, so don't miss this.
Doc said we're talking a gut health, I guess, really.
Yeah.
All right.
So I can confidently say that up to 90% of those listening have some degree of leaky gut syndrome. Some worse than others. Some have a mild case. Some have a much, much more severe case. But 90% of the people listening have some degree of leaky gut syndrome. Now, you see, the gut lining, the lining of our digestive tract, is designed to be the barrier between everything that we swallowed from the outside world and our blood and the inside of our bodies from our inside body world. So in other words, people don't think about this, but your gut lining is the barrier between everything you swallow, everything from the outside world, and our blood and everything from inside our bodies. Our barrier, the barrier of our gut, was designed to keep things out that aren't supposed to be there, and to let things in that are supposed to be inside of us. And so if that gut lining gets destroyed, it's not a good thing, because we swallow chemicals, viruses, food preservatives, bacteria, bad foods, undigestible things. All of this needs to be limited by the gut lining. The other thing the gut lining does is it's designed to break our food down to its little smallest component before it gets in our bloodstream. For example, a protein should be broken down into its smallest component, which is called amino acids, before they get into our bloodstream. And so it's now been proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that glyphosate destroys the lining and makes it leaky, makes our guts to where it can't keep these things out that are supposed to be kept out. Now, glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup. And Roundup is sprayed on almost every crop that you have these days that's not genetically, you know, they take soybeans and they spray Roundup on them to kill everything except for the Roundup. Now, they're genetically modified so the Roundup doesn't kill them, but it kills everything else around them. But that Roundup...
Wait, say that again.
Okay, so
we got some soybeans out in the field.
Right. They're genetically modified, so Roundup doesn't kill them, from Monsanto seed.
Okay.
And Monsanto also makes Roundup, and then they make the soybeans that are Roundup resistant. And so the farmer sprays Roundup to kill everything else except for the soybeans. So you have some really beautiful soybeans, a beautiful soybean field. And then that Roundup gets on the food, because soy is in everything, and it gets in our bodies, and it helps destroy our gut lining. So that's kind of the chain of events that takes place. But if you've ever eaten foods that aren't 100% organic, which including me, nobody has, then you've probably eaten glyphosate or foods with glyphosate on it. Now, that is destroying our digestive barrier. It's now proven. There's no arguing the point. It 100% is the case. I've got before and after pictures. I've got the gut lining before glyphosate. I've got the gut lining after. You can see that it actually becomes leaky on slides. So there's no doubt that this actually happens. But why is that so bad? Well, we end up with particles and substances in our blood that does not belong there. This causes inflammation, systemic inflammation. Now, let's just say we eat a protein. Our digestive tract is supposed to break that protein down into its tiny amino acids so that our body can use them. If we get a chunk of protein floating around in our blood doesn't know what that is, and it attacks it as if it were a foreign invader. And our immune system goes and chews that up and breaks it down, because that's not something that's supposed to be there. So if we're constantly getting this leaky gut where things are getting into our bloodstream that don't belong there, viruses, bacteria, chemicals, then it causes systemic inflammation.
It seems like that would hurt, though, in your stomach.
Of course.
So do people necessarily have pain?
Well, they can have gas, bloating, pain, poor digestion, lots of digestive.
Yeah. All of those things could be symptomatic then.
Absolutely.
Of this problem.
Absolutely.
Gee,
Yeah.
And what's that stuff called?
Glyphosate. It's Roundup. So leaky gut is a real problem for the vast majority of us listening.
Wait a minute. Just wait a minute. So if I look at a package of cookies, if I look at a package of let's say soybeans, okay, and it says 100% soybean. Well, that whatever stuff could possibly be in that soybean. It's not like it's going to be on the label.
No.
Right?
I'll give you a perfect example. I got some new oatmeal this morning, and it comes in some little packages instead of the one that I normally get. And I got to reading the label, and it has soy protein in it, in a package of oatmeal. Why it has soy protein in it, I have no idea. But it does. It has soy protein in a little package of oatmeal. So I went back to the one I usually use. That's an organic old-fashioned oatmeal from Red Mill. But why they put that in there, I have no idea. I guess it's like a filler. It has soy protein in it. Right. So they can show that it's cheap. Yeah. And more than likely, since that was an organic product, more than likely that soy protein had traces of glyphosate on it. And more than likely it was genetically modified. And so I did not eat it.
So we could be eating, and soy, like you said, soy is in just about everything.
Right.
So we could be consuming a lot of this. If you took all the food that we eat as human beings over the period of a year and put that in front of us, I bet you we're eating a crap load of this stuff.
Well, when you add it up on the corn, soy, wheat, and those type of foods, yeah, it adds up to a whole lot. It certainly does. But leaky gut is a real problem for the vast majority of people listening to some degree. It creates chronic inflammation, bloating, gas, fatigue, autoimmune diseases, emotional disturbances. I mean, this is a real issue. And so we have a new supplement that can actually help heal the lining of the digestive tract. So you take a teaspoon of this right before you eat, and it actually helps coat and seal and prevent this thing from happening from the leaky gut. But getting your gut healthy simply must be a part of a comprehensive wellness plan. If you want to live a healthy, long life, the gut needs to be looked at in order for us to say, yes, we've developed a comprehensive wellness plan for you to live a long, healthy life. The gut absolutely must be addressed because so many other diseases and conditions revolve around having an unhealthy digestive system. It affects almost all other parts of your body. So now when we talk about leaky gut on the show, you guys will know a little bit more about what I'm talking about because I mention that all the time, chronic inflammation and leaky gut, and I get a lot of questions on that, like what does that even mean? So now hopefully this will have explained to people just a little bit more about the way leaky gut works.
And I would imagine you're not talking about a big tear in your stomach lining big enough to put a link of boudin through.
No.
You know, you're talking about
these are microscopic. Sure, yeah. These are little microscopic leaks in between the cell structure.
Yeah.
And so the one thing that I want folks to know is that your digestive system is vital to the rest of your health and your life. And as Americans, our digestive health is a wreck. I mean, it just is. I mean, our digestive health has really gone south in America over the last 30 or 40 years. And now we've seen why. You know, it's the fault of Monsanto seed and these other food and chemical companies that, you know, are tinkering with our food supply. And, you know, they really care more about corporate profits than they do about you living a long, healthy life. And it's up to you. You have to take charge of this and handle this yourself because there's no food company that's going to take your best interest in mind and handle this for you. You know, you have to do this for you and your family and take care of this. Well, we have a digestive health program to where we can reverse the damage that's done and then create a system to where we don't do more damage in the future. Trying to do non-GMO crops and trying to do the supplements that we have that can heal the gut lining and keep the gut intact, and, you know, taking probiotics and other things to try to keep the gut as healthy as we possibly can.
Taking probiotics.
I do, but you know, the thing with probiotics and while we're on that subject is probiotics at the most, you can have 30 to 40 strains of gut bacteria that are healthy. Now, your gut actually needs about 20 to 30,000 different strains of bacteria to be healthy. So it's more about creating a healthy environment for the good bacteria to live than it is trying to replace them with probiotics. The probiotics can help a little bit, but they can't make your environment of your gut able to have healthy bacteria live there. It takes other supplements and other things and other programs that we have in order to do that. So the probiotics are one thing, but they're certainly not the most important whenever it comes to getting the lining of your gut to where it's the right environment for those bacteria to be able to live healthy and take care of what they need to take care of in there. And so if you're having digestive issues, you may actually have much more than that happening inside your body that needs to be addressed. And so, you know, if you're having digestive issues like acid reflux, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, ulcers, any of these things, you may actually be developing much worse problems inside your body that need to be addressed. You know, you have to look at this as a wellness perspective. And so, you know, if anybody out there wants me to look at this for you, give me a call. I can evaluate. We have a digestive health program that is really unlike anything out there, to where we actually get to the underlying reason these things are going wrong in your body, and we fix those. And so undigested food creates inflammation, leading to much worse diseases down the road. And, you know, getting your digestive system working like it was intended will make you feel better than almost anything else you can do to your body. You'll have more energy, you'll sleep better, it just really makes a huge difference. And one thing I can promise you, you weren't born with a shortage of Tums or Nexium in your diet so that you have to add that every day in order to be healthy. You weren't born with a shortage of Nexium so that you have to take that for your body to work correctly. There's something else going wrong. And so if you want us to develop a digestive restoration program for you, come see us. Our program is really unlike anything else. Our nutrition and digestive program is really amazing. So we have some great new programs out there for that. So
do you do it, or do you have a specialist?
It's me.
Oh, it's you.
Yep, it's me doing it. So we got some good stuff. So come see us if you need us for sure. Take care of your digestive system. It's important.
Wow.
All right.
Good show today, Doc.
Good. I appreciate it.
All right, Dr. Kevin. Well, Facebook, right?
Yeah. It's the Bryant Wellness Institute's on Facebook.
All right, Dr. Kevin, Wellness Wednesday on KTDY.